I was taught this morning to improve my Arabic. Now, because Saida, sorry, I didn't even get it correctly. I'm sorry. Now, because of time constraints, I will launch quickly into my brief presentation of the Memory of the World program and some of its activities. The name is impressive, so perhaps you're asking, what is the Memory of the World? Well, formally, it was launched by UNESCO in 1992 to protect and provide access to the recorded collective legacy of the peoples of the world. In essence, this means the thoughts, the creativity, and the intellectual output of anyone, anywhere in the world. Now, this legacy can be recorded in any form. It can be books, manuscripts, photos, rock inscriptions, sound recordings, modern-day blogs. It can also be recorded on any type of support. This can be paper, papyrus, stone, wood, or even modern-day web pages. This program is all part of UNESCO's strategy to build knowledge societies. Therefore, it contributes to democratic access to information, which will help provide and improve your quality of life, but it also contributes to sustainable development in our member states. As a result, there is no distinction in the program between information that is collected by public institutions and by private, or that's held in public hands or private hands in the individual, in the home, wherever. Also, there is no discrimination between different cultures or languages. Now, the objectives of the program you can see on the screen. Let me just go through them briefly. The first one is identification of documentary heritage. Heritage exists in different forms, and not everyone is aware of the value sometimes of this information or the knowledge that they have. Therefore, part of the program helps to identify what is significant for a country and eventually having it listed on a Memory of the World register. And I will talk about the register in a bit. Second priority is raising awareness. We need to give greater awareness to the global significance of documentary heritage in general, and the increasing and equal importance of preserving and providing access to it. The major method that we have adopted is through listing on a Memory of the World register, but we also conduct media campaigns and other producing promotional literature, which may include bookmarks, coffee table books, brochures, and all sorts of activities. And if you look beside my nameplate, I have brought some little slides and so on, bookmarks, if you will, that provide a bit more information about some of the activities and the different items that we have listed. You're free to take them away with you. Because, of course, they're only in English and French, unfortunately not Arabic, but we hope to get there eventually. The third objective of the program is preservation. Now, this is supposed to be the main focus of the program because if information is not preserved, it cannot be accessed, it cannot be made available. Once it is listed on a Memory of the World register, it helps the owners or the organizations concerned to be more visible outside and also to get funding for preservation programs. This is extremely important because, as we all know, those of us who are in the preservation field, this is quite low on the majority of government budgets. So Memory of the World helps in this regard. Also, it helps to raise the professional profile of those who work in libraries and archives. It helps then with training and sponsorship for projects. And the final objective is universal access, which is complementary to preservation. We preserve for access, or we preserve so that access is maintained. And it has been said here, and I repeat again, the right to access of documentary heritage is a basic human right. And the Memory of the World helps in this regard to know where information exists, where to find it in a format that's easily accessible. And for us, we contribute to access by digitizing information and publishing it online through mechanisms such as the World Digital Library and others, so that it becomes more accessible to a wider number of people. I won't go into the structure of the program. It's just there on the screen so that you can have a look at it. But this is the basic structure. It works at 3 levels: international, national, and regional. Just briefly, the International Advisory Committee is composed of 14 people who are chosen by the Director General of UNESCO for a 4-year period, renewable ones, and they serve in a personal capacity. They provide advice to the program, but I'll skip the rest. The Secretariat, I just have to say that that's handled by me. I'm the only person working on the program at this point in time. But okay, and there are national committees. Egypt has one, not very active at this point in time, which I'd hoped will be revitalized in due course. And there are 3 regional committees, none for the Arab region. We have been talking to some of our partners in the Arab regions about setting up a committee. There is currently a Memory of the Arab World project that's under discussion, and we hope that in time this will become the Arab World Regional Committee. Anyway, if you want more information on this, you can always contact me, but I'm just running through it. Now, quickly to the register. As Ahmed said, okay. There are 193 items that are currently listed, and on the screen I have chosen those to illustrate this, which have a linguistic component. For instance, the Philippines is about syllabaries, which have been developed in the Philippines, and they go towards a way of expressing language. These go back to the 10th century. Of the 17 that have been documented, only 4 exist today, and these are the ones that have been listed on the Memory of the World Register. Furthermore, they remain in use. We have codices from the Oaxaca Valley in Mexico. These were drafted by indigenous scribes using their own writing systems, and they are an indigenous testimony after the conquest of, after the Spanish conquest. And they have allowed the testimony of indigenous cultures to be preserved, as well as most of the pre-Hispanic originals were destroyed. Next, over to the far side is Korea, the Hunmin Cheongjam manuscript, and this testifies to the promulgation of the Korean alphabet by Sejong the Great, who was the 4th king of the Joseon dynasty. This is now called Hangul, and it was completed in 1443, and this is the development of the Korean language. And finally, the 4th one on this page concerns the Bleak collection in South Africa, which was, this was research into the San, XK, I think Nomazulu called it. The phonetic script was transcribed by Bleak many years ago. And this material still provides an invaluable insight into the language, life, religion, and so on of the San people. Then we have the Phoenician alphabet from Lebanon, which is the source for all alphabets in the world today. And often this is regarded as the contribution, the most significant contribution that Lebanon has made to the whole of humanity. Latvia is a collection of folk songs, and from Curacao we have the Catechismo Corticu, which was the first inscription in Papiamento of the Catholic Creed. There are many, many more, which time does not permit me to go into, so we'll just move on. I won't go into the digital library because Robert has done a great presentation of that, except to say that there are now 6 items from Brazil, Germany, Mexico, and others on the Memory of the World Register, which you can also find on the World Digital Library. We're currently working on 15 more collections that will be added to the World Digital Library. Briefly, Memory of the World facilitates the role of libraries, archives, museums, and to other stewardship institutions to provide continued access to recorded information. And in this way, we try to mitigate the losses that were mentioned by Chris Rayner earlier of the recorded memory of people. And I'd like to mention in passing very quickly that we'll be holding a conference in Warsaw in May next year, from 18 to 21 May, on the theme Culture, Memory, Identities, which will explore all of these in more detail. Now, the reliable documentation of language as well as cultural expressions such as music, dance, or song became possible at the end of the 19th century through the birth of audiovisual technology. And many of these recordings are the sole evidence today of a language and a culture of people who no longer exist. But experts are agreed that 15 years is the maximum that we have to transfer these documents. On the screen, I've just shown you briefly some of the endangered audiovisual media. If nothing is done, all of these will be unreadable and they will be lost. So, lack of awareness, but also lack of funds will cause all of these documents to disappear unless there's a concerted effort for their preservation. The importance of these items far outweigh the documents that you can find in some of the institutions and the research centers today. This has been a very, very, very quick presentation of the Memory of the World program. This is our website. I encourage you to browse it. If you contact me as well, I will be able to provide more information. But in conclusion, I just want to say that the Memory of the World program is gradually gaining in global recognition because of its contribution to the diversity of people and cultures. Still, a lot has to be done. It is not yet a household name, not as well known as its big sister, the World Heritage, but it's getting there gradually. We hope that further efforts will continue to safeguard this so that our recorded memory will continue to be preserved and therefore lasting, sustainable development as well as cultural diversity can be assured. I thank you.